Another one on talking to your peers over the last week or since it started. Is it the same? Is it everybody have the same kind of questions? Is everybody in the same position you're in, is being confused and so uncertain and wondering what's going on with everybody on the tour?
I think it's been asked and answered. So we're going to move on to U.S. Open topics right back here.
Here's a polarizing example of the signs to come. Going through this press conference.
What about the current situation in golf is most confusing to you?
Well, I think that I just don't know what's going on. I think that's, I don't think anyone knows what's going on. Are we signing with the PIF? Are we not signing with the PIF? I've no idea. So, even though I guess it is confusing, it's pretty clear that nobody knows what's going on apart from about 4 people in the world. So
the moderator tried to disrupt the reporters' questions numerous times.
Just to kind of follow up on that, do you feel like you should be compensated for not going to LIV?
Good.
Yeah, I'll answer.
Her mic cut in and out right here as well. No person should ever dictate what a media member is or is not allowed to ask. And I'll get into that momentarily. Media would write the following. Last week, the PGA Tour shook the sports landscape when it announced a partnership agreement with the PIF. It came as a surprise because many members of the tour, including Commissioner Jay Monahan and golfer Rory McIlroy, were openly critical of the rival golf organization. In reference to Saudi Arabia's human rights issues, some have accused the PGA Tour of taking the blood money tied to the PIF. Monahan, on the other hand, has maintained the deal was done for the benefit of the sport. Several big names in it, including Bryson DeChambeau, Dustin Johnson, and Phil Mickelson, all reportedly received signing bonuses in excess of $100 million for joining LIV. Tiger Woods reportedly received an offer that was close to $1 billion. Monahan has said that he wants to find a way to reward Tour loyalists somehow, and Tour policy board member Jimmy Dunn floated the idea of offering equity in the new entity last week. So let me go back to the press conference. There should be no restriction whatsoever on the press. And what do I mean by this? Is there a certain line you don't cross? Yes. Like, the Skip Bayless, Jimmy Butler thing, perfect example. One probably should not ask Jimmy about that. I think that would be crossing over and resulting in less journalistic integrity for that person. But for this, these are straight up questions that should be asked from the players who are involved with the league. It's not like they are asking about anything else. And by the way, they were talking about Leeds United, completely irrelevant to golf. And she's like, okay, we're going to stick to U.S. Open questions. She asked a follow-up question about Leeds United. Why don't you stick to U.S. Open questions? But, do as I say, not as I do. Whoever this person is should be reprimanded, although they will be rewarded. And we've seen this many times over. It's sort of like a press secretary when the White House holds briefings and they don't want anyone to ask about one of their weak points or a soft spot. That is this. Except it is completely in bounds because the PGA and Saudi are now tied at the hip because of the deal that they have structured. I understand that the PR person or the rep for the PGA Tour doesn't want those questions being asked and wants to protect the golfers. What if the golfers want to say something? And as a member of the media, we are allowed to ask those questions in order to get answers because we are asking for clarity and perspectives and opinions from those directly involved. Shame on this person, whoever she is, because this should never happen whatsoever. And also, it's pretty interesting to me that when LIV Golf launched and that rough press conference for Phil Mickelson, where he was asked question after question after question, and he gave the rehearsed, I condemn human rights abuses. I think it's terrible. No one is for human rights abuses. You didn't hear some of the reps with LIV Golf jumping in, yet the PGA does it. Odd and shameful.